Hi, my name is Linda Bauld, and I'm the director of the National Board Resource Center at Stanford. And I'm here with Lori Celiz, who wrote and created our newest ILC tools for practice. So Lori, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you are and what you teach?
Hi, I'm Lori Celiz. I'm a third grade teacher in Lodi Unified School District. I'm an ILC member and National Board Certified teacher in the area of literacy.
Great, I'm nationally board certified also, so great. So this tool for practice, can you briefly describe what is the professional learning that participants will experience?
So this professional learning is to enable teachers to go through a process of really looking at the students that they're teaching. And core proposition 1 in National Board Certification says teachers know their students. And so this takes teachers through a process where they identify how much they really know about each of their students. And we do something called a sphere of success. So how are the students doing? Who is successful and who is not? And so in putting them in concentric circles, basically, we find out who's our outliers, which children are not succeeding, and we're going to take a deeper look at those students.
Okay, great. And so what are the goals or objectives for this learning?
So the goals would be, number 1 is to explore the proposition of teachers know their students. And then beyond that, to look at 2 to 3 focal students that are struggling, not being successful, and then to develop a plan in correcting that and addressing that.
Okay, and why did you develop this tool?
Because, well, we're addressing the need that we really need to look beyond just our lesson. We need to look at the students as individuals and how successful they're being in school as a whole. So we're looking at the children's social emotional learning. We're looking at, do they have a history of trauma? Are they English learners that have been English learners for a number of years? So looking at the whole student, what is it that we need to do as a teacher to move them forward?
Okay, great. And what tips do you have for presenters? Like what should be copied, for example?
Well, you need to copy
the spheres of success.
The spheres of success sheet, so that your participants have something to work with. And then also look at core proposition 1 from what teachers know and should be able to do.
Okay.
From National Board.
And that entire 5 core proposition book is in the handout. Would you just suggest copying the first core proposition for this training?
For this particular session, I would. And then if participants desire to have more, then you can always do that at a later time.
And what are there any common misconceptions that you would want presenters to know about? I think you said when we were talking earlier that teachers tend to just focus on the academics.
Right, yes. And beyond academics, we really need to strive to look at our students as people, basically, and what their needs are beyond just academic. And so this is going to enable teachers to be able to do that. So, and we're talking more than just academic.
Yeah, and we were talking also about how this isn't also just trying to fix a student. It's more like, what am I doing as a teacher that might be contributing or creating the lack of success that the students. So it's a reflective process for the teachers, which is for me unique.
Right. So in addition to looking at the students and where they are on in their success, it's important to look the students who are not progressing Is there something that we're doing as a teacher or not doing as a teacher to meet that child's need? So this learning session would enable teachers to reflect upon your practice and develop a plan that, you know, perhaps all the students that are in the center of your circle that are doing well have some commonalities, and some of the ones on the outlying, they may have some commonalities as well. And is that something that I'm perpetuating as a teacher?
Great. And then we want to share about the additional resources. So I think I'll share my screen like we talked about so that people can be seeing them while you are talking.
Right. Well, San Francisco Unified developed this HyperDoc, and this is linked in the presentation, but it's just the part about knowing, I think, or discovering is in the slide. But this is, it's part of a larger HyperDoc. So each of these sections has a link, and each is a different component on knowing your students, so different dimension. One is a video about what a school in Reno is doing. There's something about the focal students in there. This is just a really great all-around tool to just explore and really think about how well you really know your students and what to do, some strategies that you can do to learn more about them.
Great, great. Let me get back to stopping the sharing. Okay, so as we end, is there anything further that you would like to share with future presenters?
I think that this is a great tool for a number of different audiences. Any teacher can use this because I think that we all are guilty of not pausing to really reflect on who our students are and what their individual needs might be. In particular, if you have national board candidates, maybe before they start their process of certification, this might be particularly beneficial. Also, new teachers who just seem to get overwhelmed. You know how our first couple of years are. They're very overwhelming. And so this just kind of brings you back that this is why you're doing this. This is why all that stress and trying to keep up with all the lessons and all that is for these students.
Great. Well, Lori, thank you so much for your dedication and for sharing your work and the work of our San Francisco friends. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.